Joining us now on the Michigan Megacast is Grace Hochstetler. She is from Lighthouse of Michigan and joins us on the program today. Grace, thanks for being with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Appreciate having you on. So for those that aren't familiar with the work that Lighthouse does, tell us about the organization, the way that it serves Michiganders.
Yeah, so Lighthouse is a nonprofit based out of Oakland County, Michigan. Our mission is to endeavor to build equitable communities that alleviate poverty. So we have a couple different options. We have an emergency food program, emergency shelter program, as well as kind of different wrap services that we provide to those in the community.
And so for those that are in need of some of these services, how do they get in contact with the organization? Because often if someone's struggling, especially financially, to afford housing and the basic necessities of day-to-day life that a lot of us take for granted, they may not be able to get in contact with you by a cell phone or by the internet, certainly. So how do you get in contact with a lot of the people that you serve?
Well, so a lot of people do end up calling us through our main line, and then we can connect people that way. But also I feel like we have a lot of connection with those in the community. So we work a lot with different schools and congregations and businesses that allow us to kind of expand our reach a little bit more to, spread our message as well as find more people to serve.
And then as we're approaching the end of the summer and we head into the back to school time of the year, so many families then are struggling to put the resources together to get their kids ready to go back to school, because on top of all the necessities that they're already working very hard to meet for themselves and for their families, now you got to get your kids back with school supplies, maybe new clothes or new backpacks. How does your organization at this time of the year help to serve those families too? Because that's also a big consideration in housing and the basic necessities that you're helping them provide.
Right. Yeah. So right now, in addition to our typical donations, which are usually food and personal care items, so like toothbrushes, toothpaste, deodorant, stuff like that, we are also looking for back to school items. So backpacks, anything that can be used for kids who are going back to school to kind of get them ready for that next step and maybe take a little bit of burden off of their parents.
We're joined by Grace Hochstetler. She is the engagement coordinator at Lighthouse of Michigan, joining us on the Michigan Megacast. You can find more information on the organization and get involved by visiting lighthousemi.org. That's lighthousemi.org for more information. If people themselves are in need of some of these services, or they know of someone that may be in need of your services, how do they best go about engaging with your organization? Because for many of these people, these issues aren't necessarily something that just randomly pops up. It's something that tends to be a recurring issue or an issue that's been going on for a while, and these resources can really help them out almost immediately if they're able to tap into them. So how do they get involved?
Yeah, so I think you just mentioned our website is one of the best ways to get involved. That gives you different links to all of our different services and the caseworkers who might be able to help you, as well as just calling our main line, which is 248-920-6000. And then that should be able to connect you with one of our staff members who then again can connect people with whoever would be the best fit.
About how long, when you are working with a family or an individual through some of these issues, about how long are they really with your organization and tapping into these resources? Because on the one hand, you want to, of course, provide these resources to individuals who are in need, but also help them get to a point in their life where they can also provide these on their own without the assistance necessarily of an organization, so you can help other people also that are in need of these resources. So how does your organization then work with these individuals and these families to continue to work toward a point where they can get out of the situation they're in, where they're struggling to meet these basic necessities while they're also continuing to get the help from your organization that's needed to be able to fight to get to that point?
Right, exactly. So that is something that we're really focused on. While we are providing these emergency services, our goal is sustainable poverty, alleviation for those who are in need. So we try to move them into sustainable housing for long-term solutions, as well as provide those wrap services. So anything to kind of help fully form an individual or a family or a client to get them back on their feet and make sure that this is kind of that they're moving in the direction that they feel comfortable and that they feel strong and supported with. So that's another one of our big goals with our programs.
We're joined by Grace Hochstetler. She is the engagement coordinator at Lighthouse of Michigan, joining us on the Michigan Megacast. Again, you can find more information on Lighthouse by visiting lighthousemi.org. Lighthousemi.org for information on resources, news, and events, ways that you can help them as well. Lighthousemi.org for all of that information. Grace, you, on top of some of the events we mentioned, like the back to school services and all of that, you have other opportunities too for people to get involved if they'd like to help your organization provide these resources to so many people. What sort of volunteer opportunities are available through Lighthouse of Michigan?
So we have a lot of different volunteer opportunities. The first is just kind of volunteering in our emergency food program. So that can be packing boxes, helping deliver food to people who can't get into our shelter, as well as we also have, for the next month, we are partnering with the Renaissance Fair in the area. And so we're looking for volunteers to help with that. In addition, then the Renaissance Fair helps us with a lot of food donations and things like that. So if you know of anyone, or if you yourself are looking for some volunteer opportunities, we are looking for volunteers pretty much every weekend for the next month.
So I know you mentioned that you are based in Oakland County, but you have locations throughout the Oakland County area that people are able to go to if they physically go to if they're in need of support as well. Can you tell us about some of those locations and what help people can get at the physical locations?
Right. So our headquarters is in Pontiac, Michigan, and in our headquarter building, we also have a food pantry for people to come and get whatever necessities they need. We also have a food warehouse in Pontiac. Similarly, it's where we store a lot of our food and people can come and pick up their food that they're being distributed. Additionally, we have another food pantry location in Clarkston, as well as partnering with a couple different congregations around Oakland County to help distribute food as well.
We're joined by Grace Hochstetler from Lighthouse of Michigan, joining us on the Michigan Megacast. She is their engagement coordinator, and more information can be found on the organization at lighthousemi.org. You can also find them on sharedetroit.org, where they're one of over 300 charities and nonprofits supported on the Share Detroit platform. Again, sharedetroit.org. You can go there, click on their Find a Nonprofit section, and just search for Lighthouse. And you'll find Lighthouse Michigan's information, including their website, contact information, ways you can get involved with volunteer opportunities, even donation items, physical items that may be of need to the organization and the people that they serve. That's all on sharedetroit.org. And you can also learn more information directly from the organization at lighthousemi.org. In terms of resources, Grace, what at this time are some of the most important resources that the community can help Lighthouse provide to those that it serves?
Yeah, so kind of as funny as it sounds, but we are already ramping up for the holidays. So that means a lot of different food drives, Thanksgiving items, even Christmas and holiday items as well. So we're always in need of food. And then we are also always in need of the personal care items. So that's everything from toothbrushes and toothpaste to deodorant and shampoo. That we also give out through our programs. So those are kind of safe items that we are always looking for and we can always, use in our programs, as well as monetary assistance or donated gift cards.
More information can be found on lighthousemi.org, lighthousemi.org, as well as on Share Detroit's website at sharedetroit.org. And you can find Lighthouse of Michigan on social media, including Facebook at Lighthouse Michigan, Instagram at LighthouseMI, and Twitter at Lighthouse_MI to keep up to date on everything that they're doing and the ways that you can get involved in your local community. You can also keep up to date with them on their website at lighthousemi.org. We're joined by Grace Hochstetler. She is the engagement coordinator at Lighthouse of Michigan, joining us on the Michigan Megacast. Grace, a few more minutes with you today before we'll say goodbye. Anything else that we haven't touched on today that would be important for our audience to keep in consideration, upcoming events or upcoming drives or other ways they can get involved in the near future?
I think we've covered a lot of it. I think the last thing that I really want to kind of hit home on is the need in Oakland County. Prior to the pandemic, we were serving around 10,000 individuals a week with emergency food. And then at the height of the pandemic, or 10,000 individuals a year with emergency food. And then at the height of the pandemic, we were serving 5,000 individuals a week. Similarly, we've seen that kind of increase in our shelter program. We used to have about 30 individuals at a time, and now it's up to about 120. So that need that we have is just continually growing. We're excited to announce that we are opening up our new family emergency shelter, which will house about 60 more individuals. So we're really excited about that. But in that, it also requires a lot of work that we are hoping to partner with a lot of people in the community for volunteers and donations and kind of everything. So we really appreciate opportunities like this.
I appreciate having you on as well. Thanks, Grace.